There was a funny part at the beginning of the book. Someone asked Gary Vaynerchuk, how much of success is confidence, how much is skill, and how much is luck? He answered saying, he thinks he had a lot of luck. He could have been born 20 years before he was born, when he would have been stuck in the communist regime. Instead, he was born during the Cold War, when Israel and America teamed up to make a deal with Russia that traded people seeking political asylum for wheat. That's right, Gary V was traded to the United States for wheat. Anyways, this brings me to the first key idea of the book, and that is gratitude. I didn't expect this to be the first key takeaway in the book subtitled An Entrepreneur's Guide to Things. But he says there were some really tough moments he had in business, and the main thing that got him through those moments is gratitude. And that is some advice we can all start using today. Whenever something bad happens in our lives, it will be much easier to deal with it by defaulting to gratitude. And the majority of people watching this video have so much to be grateful about. For example, I read this in an article recently. So there's a lot of controversy going on around the top 1% in the United States. But did you know that to be top 1% in the world, all you need to make is $32,500 a year. If you are in a first world country, making that is not very difficult. If you were born in a first world country, you have so much gratitude to give to that fact. The reason many people watching this video are in the global top 1% is mostly due to the luck of being born in a prosperous country. But I'm sure everyone can find things to be grateful about, and having a practice of gratitude makes life so much better and can really help you get through the tough parts of life. The second key idea in this book is hustle. Gary says nobody ever changed their lives by becoming more naturally talented. But there are so many examples of people who transform their lives by increasing their hustle. Hustle is defined as maximizing the energy you put into something that you are passionate about. It's about spending an extra hour doing something that's going to get us closer to our goals. At the same time though, even a constant hustle won't guarantee that you will succeed, but it will guarantee that you won't be torturing yourself with thoughts of could have done this, should have done that, what if I did that? So if you are in a place in your life where you wish things were different and better, the solution is hustle. Gary says replace an hour of watching a TV show with an hour of taking the action that will get you closer to your goal. However, the biggest lesson from this book, which is a lesson inspiring my action step, is a piece of advice Gary mentioned about 20 times in this book. And that is, bet on your strengths. I remember back in the day when I was at school, I used to be really good at math and solving problems, but I sucked at English and writing essays. But then I read somewhere some bad piece of advice saying we need to focus on being well-rounded people. Okay, maybe it's not the worst piece of advice, and it was simply misinterpreted by me. Anyway, so I spent the next few months putting all my efforts into trying to get better grades in English. My vision was that I'll do well in both English and math. Well, what actually happened is I ended up wasting my time and energy trying to get good at something which was naturally my weakness, so I was just not capable of doing very well in that. So I wasted my time trying to get better at English, and despite all of my efforts, I ended up doing badly in both. So that's when I realized the importance of betting on your strengths. So if we want to bet on our strengths, we have to find them first. So there are two main ways to do this. Either develop a strong level of honest self-awareness, where you know you are good at some things, but you are able to admit to yourself that there are some things you suck at. The other way is to go to your close friends and family and ask them to tell you honestly what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. I used a combination of these methods and concluded that my strengths are I'm a good problem solver and my brain is great with numbers. In regard to weaknesses, I'm too curious about too many things, which makes me dabble too much in different things and gets me distracted from my main goal. And another one is that I don't have much creativity. So the action step inspired by this book, for myself and for everyone watching this video, is bet on your strengths. Figure out what your strengths are and make sure you set goals for yourself which are in line with those trends.